create a parenting statement. So what this basically means is parent yourself, do for you what you did not get, pray for God's guidance. So you may have to become your own parent. As much as you have had issues with your parent or primary caregiver, mother or father or aunt or nana, big mama, you still have some childhood wounds. And going back and forth into prison, a lot of times it's fueled by this, by those childhood wounds that you had that were never resolved. No one came to you and talked to you about it. They just let you be who you are, right? They didn't have any care or concern to say, hey, let's do something different. Basically, for some people, if you're bringing in money, that's all that matters. We'll take that. So if you want to continue to stay and do drugs, you do that. Just make sure you pay the rent. That type of thing, right? You have a lot of that. You have that a lot with mothers, with fathers. Like with mothers, they don't mind the daughter stripping, even though they'll criticize the daughter. But if the daughter is bringing in rent money, $600, they don't care anything about her stripping, right? If the son for the mother is bringing home some cash and give her something or whatever, she's fine with it. Never mind that you are co-signing that the mother is co-signing the destruction of her own child in doing that, right? And so a lot of times people put things on a money level. They'll stick things out with you as long as you give them money. Well, if you had any exposure to a parent who was not the kind of parent that they should have been, the person should have been, then you're gonna have to parent yourself. That means when I say you need to look for your basics and sustain yourself with the basics, keep a job, pay for food, clothing, shelter, because that's what the prison is doing. Then you're gonna have to parent yourself. If your parent moved you from place to place to place, then you're gonna have to create a life statement where you stay in one place. Make sure it's a good place, of course, where you stay in one place. If your parent always had to go get a payday loan, sold a car, you guys lived in a car or something like that, then your parenting yourself is going to be, I don't want to do that. I'm going to make sure that I keep a car, don't have to get the payday loan, keep a place. If your parent always needed to ask you for money, they never had any money, then you're gonna have to parent yourself and say, I need to be a better steward over the money that I do get from my job or any other type of hustle. So I need to put back $100 out of my paycheck every time, right? Um, if you had a parent who didn't show you love, showed you hostility, um, your relationship with the parent was toxic, always framed you as a problem, scapegoated you, pulled at you when they needed something, but then pushed you away when they got what they needed. Okay, for that person, for that particular situation, you got to parent yourself. You're going to have to set boundaries with that parent, for one, so that you can go through the process of parenting yourself, because the parent didn't do that. You can't give that parent money. If the parent decides to be silly with you, then you need to put distance in between you. You don't need to visit that parent, because that parent is going to set you up, especially, and this is particularly for people who have been in and out of prison, but this is also for just people who have never been to prison. If you got a parent who's always eventually provoking anger in you, eventually you're going to blow up, and that's going to be the opportunity for them, for that parent to call the police on you. How many times have you heard about these mental health episodes where the parent called the police or something, and then there was a mental health episode, but then the police ends up shooting the person and killing them? So how did that happen? Because I think the parent didn't tell the right story. I think uh, the parent at that time presented it as a way that the person who was having a mental episode was dangerous or something like that, right? And so then the cops felt the need to kill that parent. That's a setup to me, because that can't be, that's too many times that you hear about that. So If you didn't get what you needed when you were a child, stop looking for it in other people. There may come a time when you meet someone and you both have had the same kind of experiences, and then you are much more mature and healed, and you can come together and marry each other and love each other. Okay, that could come later in life, but for right now, you need to parent yourself. Do for you what you did not get when you were a child. That doesn't necessarily mean you need to buy yourself a fancy car. If you can't maintain a place to live, you definitely don't need a fancy car or rocks on your hand, on your arms, or something like that. Food, clothing, shelter, and be an adult. That's what you need. All right. So now that you've gotten to the end, this is you can visit, subscribe, and follow. My website is reginayfavors.com. Then you can visit my YouTube channel, youtube.com// at Regina Y Favors. And then I have an author store, reginayfavorsauthor.com. I also have other types of websites as well. So thank you very much for listening.